First President of the United States of America was called George Washington. He served from 1789 to 1797. Second President of the United States of America was called John Adams. He served from 1797 to 1801. Third President of the United States of America was called Thomas Jefferson. He served from 1801 to 1809. Fourth President of the United States of America was called James Madison. He served from 1809 to 1817. Fifth President of the United States of America was called James Monroe. He served from 1817 to 1825. Sixth President of the United States of America was called John Quincy Adams. He served between 1825 and 1829. Seventh President of the United States of America was called Andrew Jackson. He served from 1829 to 1837. Eighth President of the United States of America was called Martin Van Buren. He served from 1837 to 1841. Ninth President of the United States of America was called William Henry Harrison. He served between 4th of March 1841 to 4th of April 1841. 10th President of the United States of America was called John Taylor. He served from 1841 to 1845. 11th President of the United States of America was called James Knox Polk. He served from 1845 to 1849. 12th President of the United States of America was called Zachary Taylor. He served from 1849 to 1850. 13th President of the United States of America was called Millard Fillmore. He served from 1850 to 1853. 14th President of the United States of America was called Franklin Pierce. He served from 1853 to 1857. 15th President of the United States of America was called James Buchanan. He served from 1857 to 1861. 16th President of the United States of America was called Abraham Lincoln. He served from 1861 to 1865. 17th President of the United States of America was called Andrew Johnson. He served between 1865 and 1869. 18th President of the United States of America was called Ulysses S. Grant. He served from 1869 to 1877. 19th President of the United States of America was called Rutherford B Hayes. He served from 1877 to 1881. 20th President of the United States of America was called James A. Garfield. He served from 4th of March 1881 to 19th of September 1881. 21st President of the United States of America was called Chester Arthur. He served from 1881 to 1885. 22nd President of the United States of America was called Grover Cleveland. He served from 1885 to 1889. 23rd President of the United States of America was called Benjamin Harrison. He served from 1889 to 1893. 24th President of the United States of America was called Grover Cleveland. He served from 1893 to 1897. 25th President of the United States of America was called William McKinley. He served from 1897 to 1901. 26th President of the United States of America was called Theodore Roosevelt. He served from 1901 to 1909. 27th President of the United States of America was called William Howard Taft. He served from 1909 to 1913. 28th President of the United States of America was called Woodrow Wilson. He served from 1913 to 1921. 29th President of the United States of America was called Warren G. Harding. He served from 1921 to 1923. 30th President of the United States of America was called Calvin Coolidge. He served from 1923 to 1929. 31st President of the United States of America was called Hebert Hoover. He served from 1929 to 1933. 32nd President of the United States of America was called Franklin Roosevelt. He served from 1933 to 1945. 33rd President of the United States of America was called Harry Truman. He served from 1945 to 1953. 34th President of the United States of America was called Dwight Eisenhower. He served from 1953 to 1961. 35th President of the United States of America was called John Kennedy. He served from 1961 to 1963. 36th President of the United States of America was called Lyndon Johnson. He served from 1963 to 1969. 37th President of the United States of America was called Richard Nixon. He served from 1969 to 1974. 38th President of the United States of America was called Gerald Ford. He served from 1974 to 1977. 39th President of the United States of America was called Jimmy Carter. He served from 1977 to 1981. 40th President of the United States of America was called Ronald Reagan. He served from 1981 to 1989. 41st President of the United States of America was called George H.W. Bush. He served from 1989 to 1993. 42nd President of the United States of America was called Bill Clinton. He served from 1993 to year 2001. 43rd President of the United States of America was called George W. Bush. He served from 2001 to year 2009. 44th President of the United States of America was called Barack Obama. He served from 2009 to year 2017. 45th President of the United States of America is called Donald Trump, serving from 2017 to date.